Guys, today we're gonna have a lot of fun, I hope. Do you see this? AI made it, and it looks terrible. But after a week, it looks like this. In this video, I will show you exactly how to get from that to this. Every step I will skip nothing. But first numbers. 1 week, 4 models, more than 100 agents, and I just stopped counting. And I think that we just used enough power to light a small town, like really. But I don't regret a single token. Before we cook, we start with the basics. You asked for this in the last video, so this time I will go deeper. My setup is simple. I'm using Visual Studio Code with 3 extensions: Cloud Code, Kimi Code, and Codex. And honestly, Cloud Code did most of the work here. We will use Godot engine for the game and Blender for the models and nothing else. And during this video, I'm gonna show you how I actually get my agent stock with Blender and also how I work with the Godot files with my models. Okay, so how to start? And that's a valid question. Well, you need an idea, and this one is mine. I wanted to create a small science fiction game where you play as astronaut on the station, and at the end, something goes wrong. Guys, if you like my content, just hit the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. So first, I wanted a reference, so I asked ChatGPT for the images, and those are the results. Based on them, we created a color Bible. But what is a color Bible? Well, it's a list of colors, and every model must use this. It's a contract. Otherwise, every model could use just a different shade of gray, and we don't want that. Next step, the plan. Now take your best model and just set it to max. I will use Fable 5 and it will not build anything. It just hands out the work and checks what comes back. I called it the orchestrator, so talk to it first about the game and about what you want, so you are on the same page. After that, just ask it for a plan. So that's my plan, and these are the sections. Every section has smaller tasks inside. That's the rule. One task should be one fresh session, and it must be easy to test. So how do you test the game with AI? I'm gonna show you how. Ask your model to test it both ways. First, let it measure. You just ask it to write a small script. The script starts the game and presses the keys, just simulating the real playtest. Walks through the hallway, tries to open the door, etc. Then it prints the numbers and just check it. If character walks, if it can reach the door and open it. Pass or fail. Second method, let it look. The same script takes screenshots along the way, and then another agent opens them and tells you what's wrong. For example, this room is too dark. So combining those two methods, you have something like a playtest. And of course, the last check is me. Okay, step 1, the gray boxes. Before we start, I wanted to make sure that I will get what I want. So I talked to Fable 5 what I wanted and asked first for a blueprint. And this is what I get. And it looks correct. After that, we could delegate this task to Opus 5. And that's the prompt. Okay guys, let's go for a walk. So here we sleep. And that's a corridor and the bridge. It looks terrible. And I know that it's supposed to look like this. Now my favorite section, a greenhouse. We will make it look stunning, I promise. And there is an airlock and a store. So yes, Opus 5 delivered its task and it's fully valid. Now it will get more interesting. We want to replace those walls with modular kit from Blender. And that's a second section. But first, how do I actually work with Blender? And no, I'm not using Blender MCP. So in a nutshell, the model just writes a Python script, then Blender runs it headless. But how is that even possible? Well, Blender has a built-in Python interpreter, so the model doesn't need a mouse at all. It just writes a Python file. Let me give you an example. This line of code is a cube in Blender, and this piece of code is a small house. Alright, so now we can move to our modular walls Blender kit. Let's go. So here is the plan. We want to split this wall into modules, and then we can build whole station based on those modules. Okay, so here we are in Blender, and this is what Opus 5 created for us. And this is how it connects together. But how do we actually get results this good? Well, we use a method called the Gauntlet Loop. A lot of people talk about it lately, and instead of building a whole game at once with this method, we run it on a single task. So that's the flow. The model that gets the task spawns a few agents, one for each piece. And when an agent is done, it gives its output to an independent critic who can accept it or send it back. And at the same time, it gets measured against numbers. For the wall kit, that's the dimensions. And those kind of sessions sometimes last even for a few hours. And here before and after. So it's getting better, but still far from good. Then we handed the next task to GPT-5.6 Sol. Basically work on the props. So all of the pipes, fans, and this kind of things on the walls, just to make this station more detailed. Same method as before, the Gauntlet Loop, so it will run until it's good. And here is the result in Blender. And this is the station side by side, before and after. And that's just the start. Guys, but Kimi K3 is unemployed, so we gave it a completely different task. Work on the astronaut's hand so we can interact with the world around us. So the task was model the hand and the welding torch. Nothing fancy, just point and weld. We will keep it for now, but honestly, I am not sure if it will survive. Okay, the next step is pure pleasure. Now we model the rooms, for real this time. GPT went to the engine room, Opus took the bridge, the corridor and the greenhouse, and for the quarters, I sent Kimi, and at the same time I broke my own rule. I sent Fable, our orchestrator, to build a room too. I just wanted to see how they compare. Okay, so we start with the quarters, and that's Kimi in Blender. Okay, first thing I see is that everything is so square, like the desk and the bed, and I'm not super happy about it. So let's see what Fable 5 did. And yes, I can see the differences. There are much more smooth surfaces, which is super important to me. Let's see how it compares in the game. And one thing I know for sure, I will stick with Fable 5 quarter. Second room is the engine room that GPT-5.6 did, and let's review it directly in the game. Doesn't look bad, but maybe I will iterate more over it later. Now the bridge, and guys, look at this. It was done in Blender by Opus 5, and it's really impressive. Just look at the amount of details here, and that's the stunning work. Maybe you noticed, there is already a planet out there, and that's the completely different story, and we will get to it, no worries. But first, trees, and here I was so surprised. I expected simple low poly trees, but Opus 5 came back with this. And it made 3 versions. The first one was almost perfect, but look at the leaves. They are just triangles. The second one has better leaves, but the umbrella kind of lost its shape. And the third version, best proportions. Look at this one. Alright, let's see how it looks like in the station. It already looks stunning. And the best part is that we have not even touched the final lighting yet. Okay, a quick one about space. First, Opus 5 modeled the ship. We put it into the void, but this planet was made in Godot and looked terrible. So I decided to download the only ready-made model in this whole project. License-free and beautiful. That's before and after. And our ship fits this planet perfectly. The next big milestone is the astronaut. So first, we let Opus 5 model it, and it came back with 4 proposals. And I took the second one because I just like it the most. Now the hard part. How do you make this guy move? And technically we could skip it, because a lot of first-person games just don't show the body, just show hands. But I wanted to test what AI can really do, so we took the hard way. Well, usually you do this in Blender. You build a skeleton, you tell the model which part follows which bone, and then you record the movement pose by pose. The game just plays it back, but we did none of that. What we did is we split the guy into 41 separate solid pieces, connected by 17 joints. There is no skeleton in that file, and there is not a single animation frame in it. Everything you will see this guy is doing is calculated by the code in Godot in every single frame. Okay, something is wrong here, I think. Bro is just chilling on the floor. Well, he has all the parts, but nobody told him what to do. So let's take him to the lab and teach him how to walk. And this is the lab. 1 room, 1 straight line, and 8 attempts. Everything you see here is state the walk was really in, including the ones that were wrong. So that's actually super fun to see how it progressed. And that's a final comparison. And I think that it's good enough for now. And there is also turning around. Alright, let's test it in our spaceship. On purpose, I changed the camera to third person to see how it looked like, and it's genuinely good enough. I would leave it as it is, so approve. But we have another issue now. Do you remember the glove and the welding torch Kimi K3 did? Yes, now it's a separate hand. So what we need to do is basically make the astronaut model hand to do everything, not a separate one. And for this one we also had several attempts, but finally we were able to get this. And I'm happy with the result. The next big thing was textures, and I had a choice. Keep assets as they are or actually texture the whole station. And I went for it, mostly out of curiosity. So we ran a few tests. First, we tried to make them in code, straight in Godot. No photos, just noise in a shader. Then I wanted to see how far that is from the real thing. So we dropped in the textures from Polyheaven and put them side by side. And the Polyheaven ones, it's not one picture, it's color plus a map that says where the surface is rough and where it's polished. And the one that changed everything for us was roughness. And the biggest lever isn't texture at all. It's how big it is on the wall. Same panel, wrong scale, and it reads as concrete. Even that Polyheaven textures looks really good, I decided to keep the project pure, so we stick with our code-generated textures. Let's talk about lighting, because that's what gives the game its mood. Opus 5 prepared a set of presets, and on the right there is a panel with every settings behind them, so I can see what each one actually does. We start with the gray box, and that's not a dark mode, that's no lamp on at all. This is how the station looked before any lighting work. Then we have a day. It's warm above and cool down at the floor, nothing crazy. Night. The ceiling almost goes out and turns cold, and you are walking on the floor strips. Maintenance. It's the brightest one. It's something like, I need to see what I'm doing, light. And finally, emergency. That's my favorite. The ceiling goes off completely and red is the only color left. It looks stunning. Then we have a brownout, is the power failing. Everything is flickering basically, and finally blackout, but it never goes fully black. You are left with a line on the floor and the door. So after adding all those lights, we had a problem, and not a small one. Less than 30 FPS. So we started debugging what is causing that, and it was obviously the light, because switching it off doubled the frames, just like that. And after some time, GPT-5.6 came back with the reason. It was shadows. Every lamp that makes a shadow makes the game paint the whole room again, from the lamp side. So for my eyes it was 600 pieces, for the shadows 14,000. So we stopped doing most of that, kept the light, and the corridor went from 30 FPS to 50. But guys, like I said before, in this little story something has to go wrong, and right now there is nothing that can hurt you. So we need enemies. And I went with spiders, and not just because they are creepy, but because a spider is really a movement problem. 8 legs, and every single one of them has to find the floor on its own. So it's something you can actually code. But first, Blender. Fable gave this one to Kimi K3, who built the first pass of both of them, and then simply ran out of budget. So Opus 5 took it over and finished them. 2 different ideas at the same time, left and right. And I went with the right one. Let's see him in our test scene. Okay, he can walk already, so that's a good start. Let's just skip the test room and put 3 of them straight into the game. And for the first few seconds, it actually looks solid. And then, well, they just started flying. So I took them back to the lab. And the first thing I asked Opus 5 was not a fix. It was a button, one that moves the animal 1 leg at a time, so I can stop everything and see what it is really doing. And the walking itself is fine. The problem is on every surface change, for example, floor to wall, wall to ceiling. And there the body goes first and the legs just can't keep up. So Opus 5 started iterating, and this iteration is where we stopped. And honestly, this is good enough. Alright guys, time for the story. I wanted to make actually something happen in this small game. So the story goes like this. The meteor hits the ship, and our astronaut has to fix the ship from the outside. At the same time, our dangerous and illegal cargo in the lower deck has escaped. That's the idea, and let's just play this. Alright, this is it. We are on our spaceship. Probably you're wondering, where did we get those sound effects from? Well, Opus 5 downloaded everything from Pixabay, free license, so that's it. Okay, let's go to our greenhouse because I want to see that place one more time. Okay, if someone tell me 1 year ago that everything here will be built by an AI from scratch, I wouldn't believe it, trust me. Okay, let's hit our bridge. And there we are. Beautiful room. And that's the meteor hit. And we just went emergency mode. That's a great mode. Okay, so now we probably need to fix the ship on the outside. So we are going to the airlock. Let's close the door before we turn the wheel. And yes, there we are on the outside. We have magnetic shoes, so we will just not fly away. By the way, this ladder system was one-shotted by Opus 5. Really. Okay, so that's our welding torch, and that's the issue, so we will just fix it now. That's the progress bar we have, and we need to just do it. Okay, perfect, it's done. Let's go back to the inside. The next task on the list is to check our cargo. That's the cargo room. And we can see that the capsules are broken. And those are the spiders. I mean, it is amazing. I love the animation of those spiders. It is really solid. They will try to catch me now, so probably we will just stand here in the corridor and try to end this here. And here they are. One is down. Yes, he's just levitating here. That's the bug, but whatever. I literally didn't test this moment before, so that's the first time actually. And yes, I think we cleared the corridor. Let's just torch him. Okay, so that's our short game. Hope you like it. If you like the video and like the concept and what we are doing here, just hit the subscribe button. See ya.